Good morning, guys and girls, and welcome to the ever sunny Sydney, Australia for the Call of Duty World League presented by PlayStation 4. My name is Ben Sandman Green, and this weekend I will be your host for the CWL Sydney Open 1. Yesterday, we started with 30 teams. By Sunday afternoon, only one will remain. On the line is a $30,000 prize pool and the ever-important 10,000 pro points. To kick us off to game number one, he wasn't on the desk yesterday. You asked for him, we went and got him. He was in cold storage, put a bit of blush on his face, ready to go. In Maniac, over to you.
After an intro like that, I'm definitely blushing. Thank you very much, Sam, man. I'm in Maniac. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to what is going to be an outstanding day of Call of Duty action here at the CWL Sydney Open 1 presented by PS4. I am over the moon to be here and bringing you guys the best action that the Asia Pacific scene has to offer. And running us through the first series of the day will be my colleagues, Dr. Curry and Vilesider. Guys, thank you very much for joining me on the desk. We already had an outstanding day one, and it's just the start.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than this. We're actually in the weekend segment of it. This is what we want. You know, Friday was great and all. We had the pool play. The teams got to kind of suss out each other, see where they stand. Now we're into the real guts of the event. This is where, like, you lose one map and it's actually going to affect you pretty badly.
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty keen to see what happens today and for the rest of the weekend. I think this double elim is where teams really start to fire up and we see some serious passion out of the boys.
I cannot wait to get into the action, guys. Obviously, yesterday, primarily featured on the side stations, the open bracket. If you don't know already, we had a record-breaking 30 teams in attendance for our first Call of Duty World League event of the year. We were very excited about it. So, speaking of that, let's start with the games that we actually had on stream, and we'll recap and go through those matches. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we did have Tainted Minds, one of the heavy hitters in the region, kick things off against the best Asia has to offer in Unveil Nova, the Sony Asia champions. They actually went down in that series 3-0 before Mindfreak came up on stage.
Yeah, Mindfreak absolutely destroyed in their series against Infamous. They're kind of like the top two in their pool, and people feel as though it's going to be Mindfreak on top, Infamous bottom. But that skill gap between those two teams was flexed by Mindfreak in that series. Very dominating performance.
Yeah, definitely. I think Infamous did have a little bit of an alright start on the hard point. It did take a little bit for Mindfreak to get warmed up and playing up to par, but by the end of that series, it was a very clear 3-0.
Then, of course, moving on to Pool C matchup. That was an amazing performance by the Chiefs there. Obviously got a really nice victory, and they're no doubt going to be coming out swinging today. But let's have a quick look at the open bracket as well. The action that happened off the stage, because there was a couple of amazing performances here. Now, as you can see, thanks to having those 30 teams, we had a whole lot of action. As you can see in the top side of the bracket, the way the format worked, the top 4 teams from open bracket in the winners bracket, from open, went through to pool play, and they will fill the last 4 spots there. On the lower side, in lower bracket, the top 4, moved to losers round 1 of the championship bracket. Now, looking at those 8 teams that we will be seeing in the championship bracket one way or another, Kyle, were there any surprises for you there, or who were the standout teams to look for?
Not particularly. The only real surprise I had was looking at Rebellious. They were just not playing anywhere up to par from the standards that I would expect from those players. They're all high caliber players. They've all played CWL. They've all been sort of top 4, top 3 for the last, good 3-4 years. So it's really disappointing, honestly.
I think Darksided are the team, though, if anything, to take from this open bracket that we got to focus on. A lot of the teams that were in the open bracket didn't turn too many heads. Darksided, though, they kind of blindsided a few teams. They had that series against Apotheon. It was loud, it got rowdy, and they got themselves into pool play.
Yeah, I'm looking for a couple of these teams to stand out as well. We already saw Volume Gaming yesterday. Valor is going to be very, very strong as well. And into the championship bracket, the 4 teams from open bracket already in losers round 1. Frontline Black and Red. Obviously, the sister teams there, Apotheon and Sleeper Gaming. Do not sleep on those guys. They're going to be coming out fighting. 1 loss for those guys, and they are out of the CWL Sydney Open number 1. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there was so much action yesterday. Words do not do it justice. Let's have a quick look at some of the action that went down in case you missed it from yesterday's action.
Buzzo gets two there. He's now got control of that hard point. Now it looks like we are going to see Mindfreak getting on the board a little bit more. It's 52-24 right now. Still on board with Buzzo. Big kills from him, 2 in a row. Doing a fantastic job here. He's halfway towards his overdrive and 25 points here, basically. Yeah, this is it. On board now with Spades, who's managed to get those back spawns for the cell block. He's got a little bit of work ahead of him to cut on through here. Does get that first kill there on Fight, and now he's got a doorway. He's got a way in. Here comes the flood from Infa. Kills out a second for Spades. Gets the third. Beautiful stuff. This is an incredible push. He's cleaned his way through there, and what a way for the young man to capture that hard point. Out.
Wow, smoke's coming out. This is interesting.
Well, it's one way to get through the caves, right? Let's see how Fighter handles this one. Here comes 2 members of Infa. Shots out, does get one, does get the second. Gorgeous stuff there from Fighter. He goes down, but not without taking 2 of them with him. Now with Buzzo. What do you have drone straight away? It looks like we've got Excite with drone in hand. We're going to jump on board with him. Trying to stay alive. Going to go for the 1-point throw. It's out. It's good. It's in. 1 point on the board to Mindfreak.
Basically the flawlessly executed. In a little bit more control here. I think this is going to be really important for Fighter and Excite to pick up kills here. Fighter does go down. Excite on that high wall run. Good play there using his teammate along with bait. Picks up a 3-piece as Azzy and Spades sort of just conga line up.
Throw. No one's in position to contest it. We're back on board with Buzzo. He's in mid-map again. The relay is now set up. It is 6-2. MF can keep this together. One big kill there, Buzzo, with almost the second. Beautiful shot from Buzzo.
That was beautiful.
He's actually now just got that Scarab. He was 250 away from the Trinity, but it will be no need. He's going to keep that wing, but Mindfreak, possibly the kings of the group. It's been a beauty. It's been an absolute screamer to catch this one. That's the time limit. 14-4. Mindfreak are going to be your winners here in a 3-0 victory. Stunning stuff.
GG's.
GG's indeed. As you see, the boys of the team looking pretty damn happy. Fist bumps low. And he's going to be the site of the gunfight, and here come the shots. Eminence gets the first one. Oh, Nate's out. Blue does get the assist there. Eminence goes down, so we're tied up 1-1.
Score streak, he pops camo there. Not going to be able to find a kill because his teammates do all the work for him, but he can sneak up on one, so that's going to be fully streaked out, and his teammates do the rest of the work. Chiefs, I'm feeling the 6-0, man.
Yeah, this is a brutal 6-0. I mean, they're the uplink, but ever so short to tell. Again, wonderful takeaways from this series, going up against some of ANZ's best, but there we go. It's a 3-0 sweep for the Chiefs. 16-0 will be your final score there on uplink Rampage. Can't feel too bad about that one, though. Going up against one of the giants of the region, there's tons to learn, and a couple more games of pool play too.
Can't sit there and wait for them to come to you with 15 seconds left on the clock. You've got to be chasing them. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, if it was 1v1, yeah, maybe you can do that. But I mean, all you have to do is just poke that bomb site from a distance. It's playing it awkwardly out.
Bakabek is just checking everything, trying to make sure that he can't get flanked from behind. He's going to be able to find the first one. He's also got his Scarab as well now. I think he just spotted the second one as well, so he now knows he's gone. This is it. Claw's going around mid. He's not going to have time, and that's going to be it. Bakabek, he gets the ninja defuse. That is mental. That is perfect from Bakabek.
Yeah, if Claw wanted to do that play, that had to happen the millisecond that Chileans died. It just
a 1v2. He makes it a 1v1. It's up against Bakabek this time. And he's got no idea where he is. He's just going to turn around at the wrong second. But can he find the kill? He does, Beaston. That was sick.
Huge clutch, mate. That was brilliant. This just shouldn't be happening, man. This is just tiny little errors.
That was the reactive armor there.
Oh, that was reactive?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. No wonder. I mean,
they weren't even looking at him,
though.
Yeah.
It was just that. Didn't even need reactive. It was just, well, he burst in spuds. It's pretty weak from them. Pretty disappointed in lobby.
Swift is all, he's going to be on the flank here, coming behind the rebellious players. They're going to get shut down anyway by his teammates. He gets the 2-piece there, and that was easy because they weren't facing him at all. Can he get the third one? He will too. Swift is all absolutely going off here. 22 kills for him, top of the score.
going to get the drop on these players from behind.
Still alive.
Oh god, this is a huge one. Passes the drone to Tyson. Tyson dunks it. Sets, he's getting big kills here. There's no relay in position. Stems is now sitting mid.
And at the end there, we of course saw our open bracket team who got through pools, Volume Gaming, take on Validate Red, and you can just see some of the differentiation between the levels of these teams. Were Volume caught off guard, or were Validate Red just that good? We'll find out later on. But gentlemen, of course, that was just some of the highlights from yesterday. We're going to be getting into some of the action now. Let's have a look at the pools and see who's going to be playing today as well, and get a bit of an update. Of course, in Pool A, Tainted Minds and Prodigy, who will actually be up first, obviously got some amazing 3-0s. Tainted Minds, of course, dropping Unveiled Nova, as we already discussed, but Prodigy looking hot as well.
Kind of hoping Unveiled Nova find their footing coming into this weekend, especially on Saturday. It's a lot more pressure on them. Prodigy eSports, that is going to be a crazy series between those two. Look, at this stage, it seems like Tainted Minds are guaranteed to be the first seeding coming out of this pool. But Prodigy eSports versus Unveiled Nova, it's going to be a little bit more interesting when they do go up against each other. Who will end up in that second spot?
Of course, there's a lot of action happening in Pool B as well. I think, you know, we talk about pools of death. Any team that Mind Freak in, surely, Kyle, is a pool of death.
Yeah, looking at that pool now after that game versus Infamous, I think Mind Freak are your team to basically destroy this pool and come out top.
Pool C obviously up next, and that's where we saw a great performance by Chiefs. Again, they were outstanding, coming out swinging. One of the many teams that had roster changes, and of course, Rampage went down there. Validate Red picked up that nice win against Volume, which of course leads us into Pool D. An update there, Validate Black and the ever so popular Garlic Bread picking up big W's there, which of course leads us in today's schedule, ladies and gentlemen. As I've already mentioned, we're going to have Tainted Minds versus Prodigy up first. And obviously there's going to be a lot more action coming up after that. But look, I am just pumped for that. But guys, obviously we had a big day yesterday. It's going to be kicking off strong with these two teams today as well. We'll talk about those teams in just a second as we look through the schedule. Following them, we're going to have Rampage versus Validate Red, and then of course Validate Black versus Garlic Bread following.
That fourth series, though, match 4 at 145, is probably going to be my highlight, just because it's going to seem like Nova's last chance, in my opinion. If they can't bring anything to Prodigy, their hopes this weekend of making that distance and getting to top 8, they have high hopes for their scene of making a statement this weekend. If they can't take down Prodigy eSports, then it seems like it might be game over for them. We will at least see a bit of where Tainted Minds and Prodigy eSports go up against each other. Of course, we did see Tainted Minds have a very convincing win against Nova. We could easily see how the rest of this pool is going to play out just by the game that's up next.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested to see how Prodigy play in this first series. Obviously, getting a match earlier in the day is going to be a big deal going into that later game, because Nova's first game isn't till 1:45. That's a fair wait. I really hope they get out there, get warmed up, and they're ready for what Prodigy have to bring.
It might work for them, though, with a lot of warm-up time. That's going to be the schedule for today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm genuinely pumped from all of those games. But, of course, we have a very, very strong game to kick us off here. Both of them haven't dropped a map in their first rounds of pool play. It's Tainted Minds versus Prodigy eSports. Tainted Minds got that hot 3-0 over Nova, which you talked about a little earlier, trying to find their footing. Hopefully our teams can find that and come back with a W. Prodigy got the 3-0 over Rebellious. A lot of hype because, of course, Curry, that's Beaston's team. One of the true wonder kids of the scene. So much talent. Finally able to come out and compete. We saw him at the end of Stage 2 last year. And, you know, he's always said he's changing the game. He went down 3-0. Is he still got a chance to live up to that claim?
Look, everyone always has a chance coming into a LAN event. It's one thing to base a team online, connection, whatever you want to use. You don't know until they're on that main stage and they got the lights in their eyes whether or not they're going to shine. Especially with the amount of drama that's been going on surrounding Beaston and that team. They picked up, and even Prodigy eSports, one of their players, Scrism, he left the team for Prodigy eSports. In my opinion, probably one of the best decisions he's done, because he has slotted into Prodigy eSports like a gem and is performing exceptionally well so far.
Yeah, they have been standing out, Curry, but of course, one of the teams that we keep talking about, we've hyped them up for good reason. They are #1 by pro points in the Call of Duty World League for the Asia Pacific region. We are, of course, talking about Tainted Minds, Zeus, Nimble, Dens and Damage. We've got the double D combo up in here, Curry, and we're hyped for it. But Vilesider, you've played against these guys. This is a dominant lineup.
Mate, this is the squad that we saw, or part of the squad, the double D combo you were just talking about from T1 Daughters back in Ghost that placed 5th at Champs with Iskatu and Chileans.
And these guys, I think it's safe to say, were the reason they went that far. That double D combo, when it's on point, just 2 players can win that team a series.
I'm really excited to see these guys coming out swinging, and I'm sure they will. We mentioned their performances at past Call of Duty champs. Kyle there mentioned the T1 Daughters performance, but of course Dan's as well, coming 6th with Mind Freak last year. Big names on this squad, but there are also some big names on the stage on the opposing side. Let's introduce the guys here from Prodigy eSports. Gydra, Hopi, Killer Pie, and Scrism, and straight away I want to go for my boy Hope. He is coming back with a fire in his belly, Kyle.
Mate, he's scary. Honestly, he played really well yesterday. I think he dropped a good 35 and went double positive. I'm pretty impressed by that.
It was a crazy performance by Hopi. He's got that fire relit in his heart ever since he left that Chiefs lineup. If anyone follows him on Twitter, I would. He's a cracker on it, but he's so energetic coming into this event. He wants to prove everyone that he should have still been on that Chiefs lineup. He deserved to be there, and now he's found a team, in my opinion, that really does support that Slayer-heavy role he loves to do, that we've known him for so long in the Australian-New Zealand scene to just dominate at.
Yeah, I know. I spoke to Hopi a little bit before, and he said that he's actually relinquished his role as captain, which is something he sort of took over after we separated. So he's dropped that captain role to just focus on himself, to focus on his slaying, and hopefully we'll see that come out today.
Let's have a look at the series overview, guys, and see if the maps actually favour either one of these teams. I tell you what, they're well versed on all of them. We're going to be starting it off with the Retaliation Hardpoint. Throwback Search and Destroy will be second, and then following that, a Frost Uplink. Of course, we follow a best of 5 format here, so if we get to it, we've got a Breakout Hardpoint, and then Crusher, Search and Destroy to finish it off. But gentlemen, of course, Retaliation Hardpoint up first. We know both of these teams' slaying prowess so strong. Tainted Minds, you know, these guys have performed so well internationally as well, and you've got international experience here for Prodigy as well. I can't really pick them apart. What do you guys think?
Well, it's interesting looking at that map rotation, especially after yesterday where we saw so many 3-0s. Now we actually got to look at the back half of that rotation. That uplink, hardpoint, and search and destroy towards the end, that is each of these teams' strongest map in each game mode. In my opinion, it's going to be that Retaliation Hardpoint. It's their weakest for not only Tainted Minds, but Prodigy eSports. Whoever comes out of the gates just bursting and strong and gets that map under their belt, that could be a key indication of who's going to walk away with this series victory.
Now, of course, for pool play, it's the top 2 teams in pool play who will go through to winners round 1 of the championship bracket here for CWL Sydney Open 1, presented by PS4. Both of these teams have a great claim to get not only the top 2, but that number 1 spot in the pool, giving them the best seeding. Who are you guys at home cheering for? And here in the crowd, is it Tainted Minds or Prodigy? Let us know. I'm going for both here. I'm going to be stacking it. I reckon both these guys are probably going to be coming out of this group. They're looking like the strongest contenders. And I think that we're going to be seeing a really stacked winners bracket here for CWL Sydney Open 1.
Head-to-head matchup, though, coming into this one. We discussed it a little bit before we went live. Vilesider, the new addition to the team. Squism, he just turned 18. This is his first event under CWL. He's on the main stage for the first time in a long time. I remember all the way back in like 2014, I had the pleasure of casting him in New Zealand. And that's when he was a kid. And even watching him when he was young, it was like, wow, this kid, he's going to go places eventually. He's now got to that, that age where he can compete at the top level. Was Tainted Minds, was Mind Freak, was Chiefs. He is just about to make a statement, in my opinion, coming into this map 1.
Yeah, I mean, he spent the last 2 years just following everyone on Twitter, just waiting for his opportunity to shine. I think that's going to really come out today.
Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, Tainted Minds came into this event as the number 1 seed for the CWL Pro Points in the entire Asia Pacific region. Prodigy not too far behind because of all that raw talent and the points they've racked up, playing those Game Battles 2Ks and the ladder online. And don't forget, those of you playing at home, you can check those out yourself. Just Google Game Battles and check it out. Sign up and get your team sorted. You may be coming and playing against these guys at CWL Sydney Open 2, presented by PS4, coming up in just a couple of months' time. But look, Curry, we're getting ready. We're going to be jumping into this retaliation game very, very shortly. Look, give me one player. We talked about a head-to-head just then.
Yep.
Who's the game changer here for Prodigy?
Prodigy, Hopi. I think it's got to be Hopi and Squizm. It's a bit of a toss-up between the two, who's going to actually be the standout. If we did have to pick one, though, from Tainted Minds, just from his performance yesterday, undoubtedly it's Nimble.
Yeah, I'm going to be pretty annoyed if Nimble doesn't show up hard here. He's probably going to be the lead sort of aggressive subby / K-bar role coming out of the squad. I think he's going to hopefully just destroy Squizm if they want any chance of winning this. If he doesn't do that, it's going to be a little bit difficult, I think.
When Nimble gets rolling, he never stops. We saw him in the Unveil Nova series where in that Search and Destroy, it was like he didn't have teammates. He was just picking up some ridiculous plays. Got like back-to-back aces, I think 3 in total out of like a total of 8 rounds, which is absolutely nuts when you think about it. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Hardpoint retaliation, you just saw it before. We've gone through the rig draft, standard so far. Do want to highlight though, simply because of the amazing play that KP Killer Pie made yesterday. I'd love to see him just make an awesome FTL jump play again today.
Yeah, we watched him hit a huge 3-piece on the back of Breakout to win spawns for his team. So not only was it a good usage of the payload, but he used it at the right time in the right place to secure his team basically a huge win.
That's the experience coming through that the Prodigy guys do have. It may not be an organization that's very well known in the Australian scene, but all the players underneath it are huge. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into game 1 of day 2 at the CWL Sydney Open. Nimble, we talked about him. We got to watch him off the break, and he's already taken out his head-to-head matchup. Squizm's dead already.
Mate, that was a pretty close gunfight. Nimble did get down to 1 shot, so it was very, very tight.
Damage, he wants to try and control this one, as on the bridge, you do see players contesting him. Dents drops 1, Killer Pie. Doesn't get much done. Hopi, though, answers back with a 2-piece of his own. Fantastic job by the new pickup. He's starting off well and just locking down bridge for his team. Yeah,
Hopi's doing a pretty solid job here of cutting the bridge. As good as NV4, it has range, and it looks like they're coming up for an early lead here with the team of Tainted Minds a little bit pushed back. But Dens does pick up a pretty big 2-piece there, and will sort of take control back as we go to the last 15 seconds of this hill.
Nice little duck by him. Gets 1, gets the 2nd, jumps up high, and is hunting for his 3rd. But Tainted Minds, they will read the play quite well, and Zeus ends up taking him out. Both teams starting off fairly strong. They get some nice points under the board. We've seen a few gunfights go down so far. Kyle, what do you think of these two squads?
I'm pretty impressed so far. KDs are pretty similar here. Looks like both teams have set up pretty nicely for this rotation. I think Tainted Minds, and we see Zeus back on the anchor roll, cutting things out.
Right now, players all in the spawns, and such evenly close coming into the second hard point. We've still got plenty of time. Prodigy eSports do take the lead. Nimble, 5 and 2 for his squad, does drop, and that is the Hopi we all love and know. It's actually Squizm who's getting loud. Wouldn't be expecting that, and that's Hopi with a 2-piece, as I mentioned him before. 2 players on this team getting loud. Now, Kyle, you were a former professional player. What's it like being on the opposite side of the stage, getting outgunned by a player, and then just hearing them in your ear?
It's kind of demoralizing. I mean, you've got to really ignore it and put on a good, clean face and just pretend that it didn't happen. Otherwise, it sort of irks your teammates a little bit, and you can't let it affect you, but it sort of does anyway.
Killer Pie had to jump out of the hard point. Did get the scrap time, though. Here comes the rotations. It will be Tainted Minds locking it down. Damage. 1 in 5. Hasn't started off the strongest, but you do see Hopi. He's waiting for support for his team, but catches him with his pants down and locks it down for Prodigy eSports. What a fantastic start by these guys. They're up by over 25 points, and they're winning those key engagements. Gydra is 7 and 4 off the bat. Fantastic performance, and what a way for Prodigy eSports to start this map.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty impressive. They managed to flip those spawns out nice and early. Hopi won a really big gunfight against Damage there. I could have got him with his pants down, as you said. But it looks like Prodigy's going to retain control of this hardpoint, and it's going to go up by 80 points.
Look how far out Tainted Mind spawned on that one, and Gydra wants to bring the pain to them on the bridge, but doesn't win the gunfight. Just winning time for them. Look at Hopi. He hasn't seen a single Tainted Minds play for the past like 25 seconds, and that is starting to really affect that scoreline. Nearly 100 points already for Prodigy eSports, but here is that big hill down in Broken Dens. He's already set up shop.
Yeah, we saw Tainted sort of just concede that they've lost that hill, and they pushed out really nicely across the middle map. It's going to be a little bit difficult for Prodigy to break this if they don't group up. I mean, they have sort of a really spread defense from Tainted, but it's not going to happen.
Wow. Look at it, Killerpie. We actually had a bit of discussion beforehand. It's going to be interesting to see players go for that sneaky route. And Killerpie managed to duck and weave his way into a great position. But just doing that so he's created so much attention towards the back, it still has allowed Prodigy eSports to get in there. Hopey about to get into a minute worth of hill time, winning a lot of engagements. Now, Hopey, you've played with him for a very long time. What's his mindset in terms of preparation coming into such a big series?
Basically, Hobie, he likes to bounce off the walls in the hotel room before we get out here. He's loud, he's yelling. He'll usually just like jump on your bed and just shake you till you wake up. So it's going to be hyped, and he is hyped right now.
He's a bit of a kid still, isn't he?
He's a child.
He's a child at heart. Gunfight's going down. Gydra does take out damage, as it will be the hallway hardpoint. Right now, both teams just want to get control, as it will be, once again, Hopey in the middle of the action. But can he win the gunfight? He somehow outguns Zeus, finds a second player, tags him up super heavily, should be able to win this one, but Dens doesn't stop pre-firing that corner. Works out well, and Tainted Minds, they're in an awkward position now. This is their worst map, but they're down by a very significant margin. I'm
honestly surprised that this is their worst map. They're a very AR-heavy team, and I mean, this is all pretty much long-range engagements, minus this hole in middle.
Schism, again, comes from behind. That seems like Prodigy eSports are doing. They're getting these weird angles and catching Tainted Minds just in positions that they don't expect them. Nimble has been playing fantastically in this first rotation. He's already got 18 kills under his belt. I don't want to bring up a sore spot, but half of the double D combo damage only just got his 5th kill.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet. Looks like it's another case of Buzzin sitting behind his squad in MF and just sort of being the bin that everyone just sort of dumps their stuff in. But looking at our key player matchup as well, Schism isn't really doing
Someone clip shot that, please. Someone clip shot that, please. I want to see it on Twitter. Dens pushing up the street, spots one play, give the call out to his team. But still, Hopey, 1 minute and 22 seconds in the hill already. He's winning most of his gunfights, not that one though. Schism last one alive, and that is a great push by Tainted Minds. I wish I've seen more of that throughout them in the first rotation. But it seems like now they're starting to get a bit of life behind them. So far, they're very close to getting to that 100-point mark. Will they be able to do it though? Here comes Prodigy's.
Well, if they're going to do it, it's going to happen right now. They've got the spawns pretty set up nicely for new. They're still contesting old. So in saying that, Prodigy just walks in and gets a 3-piece. What are they doing? They're meant to have some of the best slayers in the country.
It is such a Slayer-heavy team. Schism is so loud on the mace. I'm not sure if you guys can hear him, but we certainly can. Him and Hopey, we're just going to hear screaming throughout the rest of this series. I'm willing to call it. Lower Street is going to be where the action is all at, and Damage, since we last brought it up, has only got 1 kill. Make it 2. He needs to heat up, and that's a great 2-piece to do so. But into the second rotation, we start to see those payloads come into effect, and Nimble has been slaying heavy and has earned himself that active camo.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to use it quite in this on this hard point here. He probably will save it and use it to break Grave. I mean, looks like Prodigy's still in control of those close market spawns, and Tainted are spawning out. And again, we see another 3 down, with Tainted being spawned out with 25 seconds left. It looks like we might see a little bit of a rotation coming up across the top of your map with Dens. I'm not sure if that's going to happen just yet.
What do you feel is going wrong for the guys at Tainted Minds right now? Like, it's obviously hard to go against Hopey when he's on a 7-kill streak, but why is it that Prodigy eSports have this lead so far?
Well, watching a few of those kills, you did talk about players being caught with their pants down, and it looks like players are setting up, getting a cut, and expecting to have a teammate there behind them to cut the other lane. So that's why those sort of awkward kills have happened. I think that's probably maybe the catalyst for this sort of heavy loss.
We got to watch Nimble because he has that active camo and needs to break it. Will he pop it once he gets support from the rest of the team? But Hopey uses the score streaks that he had racked up in that 7 streak and just resets Tainted Minds into the spawn. They're already past the 200-point mark. I almost don't believe that I'm seeing such a score difference of over 100 points between these two teams, and Prodigy eSports are doing phenomenal. Nimble pops the active camo, finds one player. Can he get the second? Reads him around the cut, does do so, and that is exactly what Tainted Minds do. They're in a now or never situation.
Yeah, that was honestly pretty impressive by Nimble there. Excellent reads. Not sure if he got a call out, but if not, he just read that player's positioning perfectly.
Nimble is doing fantastic on the sticks. He's the only one really that is making an impact, in my opinion, on Tainted Minds. Damage is still underperforming. You'd think after MLG Atlanta and that underperformance of the squad had that he would be coming out guns blazing, but this could be the final hard point by the looks of it. Active camo for Gydra, less than 25 points for Prodigy eSports. This could be it.
Yeah, Damage had the rotation there, but he actually lost that 1v1 gunfight to Gydra's K-Bar. Looks like he might have just gotten within range of the NV4.
Ooh. 1v3 for Gydra, not much that he could do. Zeus, FTL, he's basically got to use it on this hard point. They can't afford to give up any points, let alone scrap time. They can lose the game off scrap time alone. It will be one more push coming in from Prodigy eSports. If they don't get this one, you can imagine they're going to set up for the new hard point, as it looks like they're winning most of the engagements. Killer Pie doesn't get it though. Nimble does outgun him in the end there, but Prodigy, they're just going to set up for the new hard point, and they should be able to get those final 15 points, you'd imagine.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with what Prodigy's doing. They've just managed to contest down to and basically push bridge and push bus. I don't know why you would do that. They can easily have rotated into the next hill and retain spawns for the rotation after that as well.
Gydra, active camo for him. We've already seen it used once by Nimble. Hopi is very close to his Centurion. This could be a payload situation that wins Prodigy eSports this map, but in the process of us saying how close Prodigy eSports are to actually winning this one, it does seem like the guys at Tainted Minds, they just broke the 200-point club.
Yeah, this is pretty close coming into the later end of the game. I sort of would expect that out of Tainted. They're the more experienced players, the more experienced teams under a lot more duress, but we do see camo coming out from Gydra. Picks up a nice kill. Probably would have liked to see him save it for the actual push into the hill, but he is managed to able to pick up a free kill right then and there.
Is this the comeback, potentially? Have Tainted Minds all of a sudden just found that momentum? They're racking up so much time, less than 10 points separating these two teams. They should be able to get the rest of this scrap time, and it is going to be the kill feeds coming in. It will be Prodigy eSports that win the majority of them. That is actually huge. Less than 10 points for them now to get to. Hopi nearly has that Centurion. One gunfight should get it for him. Bridge could be it. Each team can win this one. He's got to win the game fight, but going against Nimble is never a good thing. Den's now off the respawn, needs to get there super quick, but it will be Hopi. Centurion needs to get down in the middle of that hard point ASAP. Zeus is locking it down, wins one gunfight. Tainted Minds, it actually looks like they could do this.
Prodigy get one push here. If they screw this up, this might be over. Just,
is that it?
Tainted Minds have just gotten a 3-piece. There's 5 seconds left on the hard point. I don't think they have time to make it back in.
Oh,
this is a Tainted comeback.
God, they've done it! Tainted Minds! What did we just see? Nimble on your screens. That's a choke. Damn. You saw Zeus, hands on his throat. I honestly can't believe what we just saw. Prodigy eSports had such a large lead. I was already like, yeah, map 1's under the belt. They're going to do this. All of a sudden, Tainted Minds just didn't lose those gunfights. They started working as a team. They started entering the hard points, and instead of getting broken, they started holding it. That was the difference in the final second rotation. Crazy stuff here on the main stage in game 1.
Guys, don't worry about it. Everyone relax. We've got First Aid on scene performing the Heimlich maneuver on Prodigy right now. They were choking, but they're still alive, guys, and they're going to be coming back in a big way, I am sure. Hopi just doesn't know what happened. Look at the face. He just is so confused and completely blown away from what actually happened.
I know what happened. They choked.
Yeah.
That is, not to be rude or anything, but that's one of the bigger chokes that we've seen here at the CWL studio in a very long time. Prodigy eSports were so close to walking away with the 1-0 lead in such an important series.
I know, just reflecting back on sort of the last probably minute and a half, I think the key errors that Prodigy made was they had a lead, they could easily just throw away the scrap points on old hills, but they chased them. I just don't grasp that. They chased them into awkward ground and just came up against head glitches and lost.
We saw Gydra had that active camo. He popped it, got one kill, but he had no support from the rest of his team to trade out if he did get taken out by the second player. It seems like towards the end there, Tainted Minds actually used their payloads more effectively. Of course, payloads in this game are more crucial than anything compared to like Black Ops 3 at least. Tainted Minds just, in my opinion, made the best of the situation towards the end there.
Yeah, honestly, I actually thought it would have come down to Zeus having to use his FTL jump just to get more quickly to the next hard point, just to rotate, in all honesty. But, I mean, Prodigy, again, they just threw it straight in the bin.
What was your moment where it was like, oh no, this is going to happen. Tainted Minds are going to win this?
I think there was a pretty key battle at the back for the broken hardpoint. The damage actually lost. Then after that, Tainted basically just regrouped and pushed that hill pretty nicely and held it off and just sort of forced Prodigy to, well, it didn't really force them. It was their own unforced error, really.
Yeah, I mean, that was some great feedback there, guys. I mean, awesome stuff from both teams. I'm still in shock, to be honest, what actually happened there at the end. Tainted Minds has some great rotations. We'll get into a little bit more in-depth analysis in a second as we're just seeing the replay there of what happened. Tainted Minds clutched up on that last street hard point now on that bridge. Now, I saw a key turning point here, guys. And it was when we went from the rotation from broken over to mid, and what I saw was Denz. He moved down, obviously, into that bottom street location, and then there was a player from Prodigy who actually, he pushed up to market, and then there was a player who actually spawned bottom street. He came back around through the buildings, through bedrooms, circled back and killed him off the stairs. They played a little bit of ring around the rosy. That actually gave Tainted Minds bottom street spawns. They then pushed into mid hall and then they completely dominated there. That moved us over to bridge, of course, where they just had control and then completely decimated. Kyle, did you see that rotation? And I mean, what was your thoughts on it? Because to me, it was a work of art.
Honestly, that's pretty clever by Denz. He's basically known that, yes, that is a bad spawn for broken, but if you push that out, you set up there, you are going to anchor your team there and sort of free up the back spawns for the next rotation for Prodigy to get the good spawns for the old hill, but the bad spawns for the new.
And of course, Curry, there was so much action going on. I mean, we were saying that Hopi has the energy of a child, but to me, he was the man. I mean, it's accurate. The guy's hypo up there, and I love it. And he was the man until right at the end, they just fell apart.
They did crumble. Maybe pressure, first game of the day, haven't warmed up. It's a choke regardless. Squizm and Hopi were so loud in that first half. They were so vocalized. You know, I think even they thought they already had it in the bag. But the man over on Tainted Minds, Nimble, he just went off from start to finish. You saw Damage struggling throughout that one. But it just seemed like Nimble constantly winning those gunfights, winning those, getting the two pieces in that. He didn't slow down. I think that was a huge factor as to why they were able to win it.
I mean, I saw just some great rotations come out of Tainted Minds at the end. I don't know where they were for the first half of the map. Obviously, they were getting destroyed. When we went for that first rotation to Broken from Graves, Tainted Minds, obviously they rotated early because they had no control over Graves. They were just getting outshot left and right. Got the early rotation. We're getting some points, but of course, Curry, Killer Pie, I saw you spot it. Yep. Killer Pie had that massive flank, came up the back stairs and just destroyed them, picked them apart.
Maybe Tainted Minds actually started to read the plays more of what Prodigy eSports were trying to go for, those sneaky flanks, getting them in these odd angles. But as soon as Tainted Minds had that wall of players, had those spawns, no one was getting those awkward angles after that point.
And Kyle, I mean, look, you've played against these guys, and we know that we should never underestimate neither Tainted Minds or Prodigy. But I thought Prodigy had that in the bag. Tainted Minds, obviously, experience coming through.
Yeah, definitely. But again, Prodigy just threw that win in the bin, basically. They had it for literally the entire map. They were there from the very start. And just silly, unforced errors out of them. Tainted just played their game from start to finish. I realized that, yes, Nimble did slay hard the entire game. And sort of, I guess you could say, carried. But, I mean, we can look at Zeus. He got 2 minutes of hill time. That's huge.
Absolutely huge. Let's have a quick look at the maps that are going to be coming up. And look, if you've missed it, it was one hell of a hard point. We saw the guys from Prodigy ahead by over 100 points. Dominating. I mean, Damage had a slow start, 1-7. Obviously, he came back beaming, and Tainted Minds clutched up on the 2 last hard points. Basically, wrote their names on the wall. They owned Retaliation, but a throwback search and destroy next, and there are some big S&D names up there. Obviously, the Double D combo, Kyle, renowned for their S&D play.
Yeah, obviously, the Double D combo have played a lot of S&D together. I know they play, they're currently playing a lot of 5v5 as well. Which is definitely going to sort of pick them up and make things a little bit easier coming into this 4v4 stuff as well. I'm expecting probably this map to favor, not Prodigy, Tainted a little bit more because they have Nimble sort of really showing up a lot more heavily as compared to Prodigy subs right now.
What do you think of this next map coming up, Curry? Because obviously a throwback search and destroy well versed between both of these teams. I think Tainted Minds probably showing a little bit more structure towards the end of the hard point, but obviously hard to take anything away from that heading into a search and destroy. What are your thoughts?
Throwback is a very strong map for Tainted Minds as a whole, and it was interesting talking to Prodigy before this series. They even said themselves that Search and Destroy Throwback is a must-win for them. They feel as though if they don't get it, that can be the series done and dusted right there. And it makes you wonder what would have happened if they'd actually just pulled through in the end of that hard point and actually taken it out. They would be coming into this Search and Destroy where there's a lot of pressure, and it'd be a situation where, you know, it could be an easy 2-0 against Tainted Minds off the bat.
Yeah, this well could have been a 2-0. They definitely, well, Tainted waited till basically the end of the series to actually talk some smack back. It looks like basically Tainted probably will take this now they've got that aggressive start.
I really feel like Prodigy need to win this one. I mean, going into an uplink after the S&D, sure, they've got some superstars on there for uplink. Gydra, we saw all throughout the Call of Duty World League Stage 1 and 2 last year. He dominated the uplink, even Killer Pie as well. Hopey, so-so, he was more of your hard point, and to a lesser extent S&D star, but I really think they need this S&D because Tainted Minds, the way they're playing, how they're coming hot off a W, Curry, I think if they get this one, they're looking good to take that uplink as well.
It is such a strong uplink for them as well. It's starting to actually look that way. Throwback Search and Destroy, changing up the pace. Nimble though, let's talk about him a little bit more. We saw him in the Unveil Nova series yesterday where it was all him that destroyed in that series. He's going to be, if anything, the one player to watch in this Search and Destroy. See if he can keep that momentum. He was winning so many engagements as it is in that previous one that you just can't imagine him not performing well.
No, I know. I just don't see it happening that basically Nimble chokes this map at all. Can we go on board with him off of the breakout, please? Actually, I'd like to see what he has to offer.
Nimble from Tainted Minds. It will be Tainted Minds actually on the defensive side. Now, Nimble, he does have that active camo and will be pushing toward, that's his payload at least, and we'll be looking for an engagement. Get tagged up though, wants to back out of this one. Prodigy eSports getting a good, decent amount of control of the middle of the map from the break. Round one, Kyle, how important it is getting that first round on the board.
It's huge, honestly, and I do really like the way that Tainted Minds are playing this. They've broken up with a nice sort of passive defense so they can work out what the team of Prodigy is going to do to them here.
Killer Pie draws first blood with that sniper rifle. Gydra follows him up with a headshot onto his former teammate Zeus, and Squism drops Denzen. Done and dusted. That one's in the books. Prodigy eSports, fantastic start.
Yeah, good aggression through middle. I was expecting to see sort of these more aggressive players coming to throwback, especially after we watched E United sort of just dominate by being incredibly fast. And I mean, that's something I spoke about with Hopey beforehand. He's about the aggression, and his team finally agrees with him now that he's off of Chiefs, and with a bunch of boys that sort of are listening to what Hopey has to say.
Using that E-Rad, Hopey was able to be aggressive. We saw them push in the middle of the map so quickly. Dens, let's see what he can do. K-Bar in hand towards the middle of the map. They're going to kind of follow what Prodigy did and get control into the middle map. Doesn't work out too well. Gydra drops damage. Dens, can he even it up? Doesn't spot the player. Gydra trades it out, and this is a fantastic start once again for Prodigy. Zeus, Nimble, not an ideal situation for them. Gydra gets another one. That's a 3-kill streak. He's going for the ace. Nimble, last one alive. Best of a bad situation is that he has the bomb at least.
I mean, it's not really much to work with, but I mean, I think we saw a really excellent push from Prodigy in middle, continuing that aggression. And I just don't think the ARs from Tainted Minds are really keeping up, especially when Nimble is really the only sort of focused, subby, sort of aggressive player.
He's the only one with kills on his kills on the board so far. No one from Tainted Minds has been able to pick up one of those all-important. Gydra 4-1 already. 30 seconds remaining. Like Nimble, he's in a very awkward situation. You can tell by the mini-map. Prodigy, they're sticking as a trio. They don't want to even risk losing a one-on-one gunfight. They're playing this one perfectly. If they roll as a unit, this is going to be an easy 2-0.
Yeah, definitely. I agree here. It's really way too late for Nimble to go for a plan, so he's just playing his life, probably working towards streaks, probably working towards his payload. He might be able to clutch up a kill here. This could be pretty interesting. Looks like he's caught the player off guard, but the round ends. Honestly, good plays from Nimble. He did the right thing. Yeah, he did the right thing. I mean, he worked towards streaks. he didn't really have to jump off the map because it wouldn't really make a difference as long as he denied the other team a kill. So he made the right play, I believe.
Let's watch Hopi off the break. Doesn't want to use that E-Rad. Sticking to the K-bar, as it seems like Hopi's going to kind of be doing his own thing towards the field side. Doesn't spot anyone from Tainted Minds. Tainted Minds being aggressive this time. They're going to take a page out of the book of Prodigy and draw first blood. Squism is dead. But Gydru's still alive. He started off so strong. They need to drop him if they want to finish out the rest of this round. But now you see Prodigy starting to link up. Hope he made such a large push that he's got so much information for his team. Killerpie's already drawn 1 kill with the sniper rifle, and he's looking for more.
Yeah, it's nice. I think Hopi just picked up another kill there, so things are a little bit more evened up. We're back to a 3v3. Killerpie has a nice angle here. Hopefully one of the guys from Tainted Minds will aggress up.
No one really in his line of sight, though. Gydra wants to start to plan on getting this bomb down. Just going to suss out a few areas, and Prodigy eSports, they're in a good situation right now. They have a good setup. They've leveled it up to a 3v3, and what was looking like a great start from Tainted Minds is starting to crumble again.
Yeah, Tainted actually sat nice and really passively and just sort of waited for Prodigy to make an error again like they did in the hard point. But as soon as that bomb goes down, they instantly push up, and I do like those plays. Hopi and Zeus trade for Nimble, and it is now a 2v2 to finish this round.
Dens, Zeus, they have to go big, and Dens is going to clutch up with 1 kill. He spots Killerpie. He knows he's got a scope. What can KP do? Goes for 1 shot.
Oh.
Misses. Doesn't get time to get the second one off, and Zeus, all-important kill there. Dens jumps straight on the bomb. He didn't joke around, got straight onto it. That's a lot of trust in his teammate to win that gunfight.
Yeah, honestly, like, they made the right play. Tainted didn't have a choice but to get on bomb, because realistically, Killerpie should have just ran there. He took a shot from the same spot again against an AR that's within 4 bullet range. Just why? He could have easily ran up to top blue.
I was going to say, would you recommend instead making that rotation to top blue?
Yeah, I mean, he's got other ground to work with. He wouldn't have expected Dens to have had that plant away instantly, and he would have had time to easily contest.
Damage is still having a poor start. He's 0-3 at this stage. We saw it in the hard point. It's followed him into the search and destroy, unfortunately, and he does get a kill. Fantastic job by him. Dens gets a big 2-piece, dropping Hopi and Gydra. This is the first time Tainted Minds, other than that previous round.
Oh
Dens doesn't finish it off. Killerpie just makes him pay for it, and it's a 1v3 situation. What can KP do?
Destroy, honestly. He just melted Dens. That was an incredible shot there from him.
Look, all 3 players, though, from Tainted Minds know where he is, and misses 1 shot, pays for his life. Tainted Minds answering back from that 2-0 deficit quite well. It is level scores at this stage, and high shots from damage. Not much, really, could be done for Killerpie in that situation. He had all of Tainted Mind right around him. Even if he got that first gunfight, he would have been tagged up enough. Would have been an easy trade.
Yeah, it looks like Tainted like to float back around that lemon area and just basically draw the enemy team out into sort of awkward AR range.
Who would you like to watch coming into this 5th round?
I'm keen with sticking on board with Gydra. I'd like to see how he moves with bomb here. I haven't seen a great deal of good bomb plays out of anyone in the, Infinite Warfare just yet, so let's see what he's got to work with.
Tainted Minds have once again gone for that aggression, but found nothing. And this could work well for Prodigy. They haven't wasted any time. Drop that bomb and put the pressure back onto Tainted Minds. Good setup here by Prodigy. If anything, they should be able to walk away. So on 1 player spotted, easy trade out. Killerpie gets another kill. They're just holding the angles. Gydra needs to win this one, but with no ammo, he won't be able to drop. Players, Dens, Hopi, they pick up respective kills before Gydra does find the kill. Damage, last one alive. He started to heat up a little bit in the search and destroy. It's a 1v2, 15 seconds. I don't think he's going to be able to get this one. He's got to go for the defuse, but with 2 players alive, you don't think it's going to happen. Work towards those score streaks instead. Good setup by Prodigy eSports. Very well executed. Yeah,
pretty well executed in all honesty. I think the main flaw of Tainted Minds and how that was so easy for that bomb to go down is because Tainted aren't sending anyone out to the bomb, to the B bomb site to defend it, or to at least poke it and check. They've just counted on aggression up on the A site.
During the hardpoint retaliation, we saw no E-Rad play. Now in this search and destroy throwback, a few players have decided to pick up. We still hope at the start use it. Yep. Do you feel as though the E-Rad, especially on throwback as a map, with search and destroy, is as effective as your standard K-bars?
It can be a little bit difficult to use on a lot of the longer sight lines, but especially in middle is where it comes into play. And I mean, it can work perfectly for Nimble and for Schism if they're going to be aggressive up in that middle map, and we see a lot more A's.
2v2, damage drops Hopi to create that situation. Killerpie is still rocking this sniper rifle. Schism, though, he's not loud on the stage because he's only got 1 kill, as you do see Nimble and Damage. They want to just escort each other throughout this map. Rotations coming through, and look at Damage. Bottom right-hand side, very close to picking up more score streaks. That could be a huge influence on the upcoming rounds if he gets another kill.
Yeah, I mean, it's finally taken, what is it, like we're into 6 rounds of S&D for Damage to heat up.
What can Killerpie do, though? He has a fantastic line of sight here. Schism wants to be aggressive. Can he find one of the players? He's not joking around here, but that scoreboard is starting. This is huge. Schism's going to suffer this. Oh, goes for the ground and pound. He gets turned on. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Tainted Mind somehow actually get that round. Schism got himself in a fantastic situation. He managed to sneak his way in, and I don't know what he was thinking going for that ground and pound. Just hold the right trigger and take him out.
I think he's looking for the disrespect play there, honestly, and that's the sort of stuff that you really want to sort of, I don't know, solidify that the Tainted Minds suck, basically.
Do you think that's a bit of inexperience coming in from Schism? Seems like this is his first CWL event.
No, that's definitely just overconfidence and ego. I kind of like it, even though it didn't work.
If it worked, it would have been awesome.
I
think we can 100% agree on that. Into round 7 we go. Both of these teams, it's looking like the hard point in terms of being hotly contested. Tainted Minds haven't had that slow start. And that is, oh no, Gydra takes out Dens but drops Schism in the process. That could come back to hurt them, as 2 players have died. Hopi lost his life early on. But look, Killerpie and Gydra are still alive. If anyone, I want Gydra alive on my team in this situation.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's 8-5 right now, though it could be a little bit scary here because Nimble and Damage both have their payloads.
Bomb down. Gydra just wants to suss this one out. I think Tainted Minds actually know this. Look at their setup, and good read by them. Nimble spots Killerpie coming into his line of sight, and now they start to move as a unit. This should be an easy round for Tainted Minds to clutch up, and they do so. We're starting to see the payloads come into effect. Tainted Minds, they now have that lead. Is this going to be a similar situation in the hardpoint where Prodigy come out strong, but Tainted Minds just end up out-muscling them?
Yeah, honestly, I think that's what's going to happen again here. Those payloads are pretty big. I'm not sure how close the guys of Prodigy are to their own payloads. So we'll see what happens.
Tainted Minds did say this is one of their better maps, and that's starting to come through. Schism 1 and 4 though. He needs to heat up. He needs to get some energy going. He was so loud in map number 1. Maybe he's lost his vocal cords. I don't know, but that's not what you want to see. He does drop a kill onto Dens, but trading it out super quick. Nimble's going to get this plant. He's picked up that Scarab, active camo, more score streaks, another round. Tainted Minds, they should be able to clean this one up very easily.
Yeah, it looks like Tainted has adjusted pretty comfortably to what Prodigy are doing and countering them.
So, kind of like the same situation that we saw in the hardpoint,
Yeah,
where Prodigy had a bit of an unorthodox style, caught Tainted Minds in an uncomfortable situation. They've read the style of which Prodigy are going for, and it seems like it's easy for them now.
Yeah, pretty much. Right, so it looks like we're going to see potentially a middle or an A stack here. I think we need to see a little bit more of the A's and just a quick plants down from Prodigy here. I wouldn't mind seeing some smokes to at least get this bomb down quickly. It looks like we see some good aggression from Hopi.
Oh, Nimble uses that active camera and it works out well, but he picks up all the score streaks, doesn't get the chance to use them, unfortunately.
That's a really big kill there on Nimble. Not having score streaks in this last round, Nimble would definitely be burning those as quick as possible.
You'd think he would have just hidden and used them, but I think the fact that Damage also had his, it wasn't a priority. Gydra has had a fantastic map so far. He's definitely a standout player for Prodigy in this map, but he's in a 1v3. Luckily, Nimble's dead, and they don't have to sweat about any score streaks.
Oh, no.
And that's a few shaky shots. That's going to cost him in the end. Tainted Minds, once again, this feels like what we said in the hard point. Started off shaky, and they pull out strong.
Guys, what an S&D that was. We were hyping up the double D combo and sure they were good, but it turns out to get the W, all you need to do is get a little nimble. And he had a stellar performance. We saw some shockwaves coming out. We saw that amazing double kill to finish up that round. just amazing performance by them. And this is what we talked about as we led into this map. Curry, Prodigy needed to get the S&D. They didn't. Where does this leave both of these teams?
This puts them in such an awkward situation because that uplink thrust that's up next is the strongest map for uplink both of the teams. Tainted Minds are up 2-0. If I'm in the situation of Prodigy, I'm a little bit worried. I do want to just kind of bring up something, though, that ground and pound that we saw. Nimble took out that kill in the end there. If he had dropped, we wouldn't have seen those score streaks or that active camo potentially so early. It begs the question, if Squizm had just gone for that easy kill, could have been a completely different search and destroy.
Kyle, you tell us as the pro player here, recently retired, I'm sure coming back sometime soon. What did that double kill really mean? Because obviously, you know, they did go away with the W in the end either way. But, you know, obviously that two-piece was going to be big.
Yeah, I mean, closing out looking at the stats, Squizm only went 2 and 6 in the end. So if he had gotten that kill, things might have looked a little bit better. It might have slowed down Tainted Minds from getting score streaks, which, I don't know, having score streaks on a map where you're mostly out in the open and both bomb sites are out in the open and your only really real cover is just food and top ticket, like, there's nothing you can really do against that sort of stuff.
Obviously, Squizm, we talked about him a few times, and this was the obviously the shockwave coming out. He got taken down. Nimble just clutched up. That's when it was 3-3, and Tainted Minds really just walked away with it in the end, Curry.
Easy for them. It seems like after that round, there wasn't much left in Prodigy. Gydra had a fantastic map. No one else really did. Squizm, though, we highlight him at the start of this series. He needed to come in big for that team, though.
He really did. Now, look, that was look, you can't really get around it. Prodigy, I really feel they did need to win that one. The fact that they didn't obviously puts them at a 2-0 disadvantage after losing what was a given to them hard point. Now into the uplink. Tainted Minds, they look composed, they're hyped, they've got the 2-0 advantage. Prodigy, look, out of all of these players, Hopey, as a superstar as he is, we also know he's really that emotional player as well. He comes in hypo. He's the guy that you said, Kyle. He comes in, he jumps on your bed and wakes you up, but he's also the guy, I kind of want to give him a hug. Like, he gets wounded like by the losses. So, dude, I would get up there and hug him right now if I could, but I really feel like they needed that S&D, otherwise they missed the uplink. Do you agree with that sentiment, or do you think they still can turn this around against Tainted Minds?
Look, I agree with your sentiment, but in saying that, I still think they can turn things around. I know that Hope is going to be pretty disappointed they had such strong starts in both the S&D and in the hard point, but they sort of lost the late game, and Hopey knows that the late game is what wins championships.
These maps that are coming up are the strongest for each of these teams. So if anything, this is Prodigy's time to make that comeback. Being in a 2-0 situation, though, is never ideal.
Not at all. So you can see there, 6-3 the S&D. If you missed it, guys, 250 to 244. Look, we had the graphic made, the guys backstage. Shout out to production. They're so good back there. They just quickly switched that out because they were shocked as well. I think everyone was going to the Frost uplink. Now, if we could see Prodigy take this one, we will be obviously moving on to maps 4, potentially map 5, and we would love to see that. But let's see what we can do. We're going through the rig draft now. It's all hype here, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you are enjoying the show at home as well. This is the Call of Duty World League Sydney Open #1, presented by PS4. And what an amazing competition we've had so far. Shout out to the guys that make it happen as well. ViewSonic and Astro, all these guys rocking their A40 TRs up on stage. Maybe, if Hopey just listens and dreams, he can bring this best-of-5 series back. But guys, again, uphill battle into the uplink here on Frost. Let's get into it. Curry, excuse me. How is this going to open? What's going to happen for both these teams? Are we going to see Prodigy firing off the start?
I wouldn't be surprised if we do. In that Search and Destroy, the first 2 rounds, they were so aggressive. They had those E-Rads, and we're moving to Frost where it's close quarter engagements. Majority of them are going to be body to body. This is where Prodigy can win those close range gunfights and kind of bring that aggression to Tainted Minds. It works, but the main thing we need to focus on is if they can keep it up.
Yeah, honestly, I agree with you on those close range fights. I think Prodigy does a pretty nice job of being aggressive in the middle here. I've seen Killerpie a couple of times hit those middle wall runs and grab balls sort of sneakily and catch people off guard just by flying out. So I'm expecting to see a lot of bait and switch around middle, a lot of high wall runs accompanied with some low long-range AR.
I kind of want to see Squism take out the Shockwave and the reactive armor just because of that play that we saw in the Search and Destroy. It's like, please don't ever use that again.
No,
please.
I want to see him. I want to see him use it every round now. Like, if he gets one of those kills, I'm going to be standing on my chair here and yelling.
Use it effectively.
Yes, please.
We need to see him use it effectively. If he has another one of those situations where it's like, I don't want to see him using it ever. Let's get into this one, though, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be awesome. Best uplink for both teams right now. What do you do if you're in Prodigy eSports right now? Let's say, Carl, I'm sure you've been in a few situations where in best of fives you've gone down 2-0. I'm sure you've made a few comebacks back in your prime time. What's the thought process going through Prodigy eSports right now?
Right now, you want the most aggressive middle push you can and just open this up with at least a 1 point or a dunk. So you put Tainted sort of on the defensive back foot.
It would be criminal if we don't watch Nimble off the break. Can he draw first blood once again? Players just ducking and weaving behind him. Does win a gunfight, but that is an instant 3 down for Prodigy. And it's that aggression that we've spoken so much about. Killerpie, though, does answer back, dropping Nimble fresh off the spawns. Will be Tainted Minds. They want to get those engagements. Killerpie is going to be in their face. Gydra smacks the life out of Zeus with the drone, and it kind of seems like Nimble is in a situation where you might have to get clutch and save it, and it will be 1 point already for Prodigy eSports. I don't want to get my hopes up, though. Is it really bad that after the first 2 maps, you know, we see Prodigy eSports do well, get the lead, and then it just seems like in the final 5 minutes, Tainted Minds just run away with it?
I mean, they've had 2 full maps now to get warmed up and to realize that, hey, our late game is bad. So I'm hoping that throughout this, we see them slow down a little bit more towards the end of the game and sort of put Tainted in the position where they have to be aggressive. Because I think Tainted's key part is that they have to play slow.
Well, let's see if they're going to be using that slow mentality. We're going to go into a listen-in with the boys of Tainted Minds. Let's see what's racing through their minds.
Nice, good shit, gang. There's one more. I'll get PC. I'm coming down. I'm pushing blue.
I could get pushed.
Could they be a nice? One nice.
He's one hatch,
One space. Nice. Fuck off. Space. There's something. Let's go. Flying. Where is he?
Warning.
He could go back, yeah?
Yeah, he went
back.
No, he's come back. He came back.
Oh, yeah. I'm staying
He's killed by. He went PC.
One's a robot,
He's camping PC.
No, there's 2. One PC, one robots. Nice.
Keep
PC, last go PC.
I'm blue. There's one on base. Nice,
right.
Wait, can I chuck a short?
Yeah. Oh, no, one short.
Can you get caught? Just go red.
Ryan flanking in blue, yeah?
Yeah,
one's red. He's pushing mid now. Hopey. The fuck? Oh, he's just flanking. Fuck off, Ryan. One short.
Is it jump that middle?
Nice.
One shot middle.
Go to ring. I'm a nice. Middle dead.
I'm ready.
I'm blue. Watch the Warren. Yeah, I'm watching Warren.
He's ready out. You wonder.
I got him.
One more
on me, blue. One more on me, blue.
Nice,
alright, good.
We need to get ring control. Let's get fucking ring control.
Yeah. Let me ride on left.
Come on mid.
What's on the left?
Yeah.
I'm blue. Nice, good shit.
Oh my god, I fell off. Push up, boys.
Alright, I'm going back to middle.
Yeah, you go to middle as well, Hayden.
On the box with me.
One close.
One middle on me. Flanking, flash. Hatch.
Go to hatch.
Yeah, I got him. Nice, one on me, middle, yeah?
Pushing gang.
Just watching it from middle. They're far.
I think one's short still.
Yeah.
Short.
He could go red.
Yeah.
Still five. He's gonna flank.
No,
one short again.
Where is he? He's going short now. Ryan's short.
I didn't see anything.
Second blue again, boys.
They're going blue. Guys, yeah. One on the base. Ready. Get shot. Get ice. Yeah, push that.
I'm just holding.
Warren. Whoa. I can't see him.
Warren.
Miss.
One's tab. Three.
Let's go. One more, last guy PC. One's behind me. On space. One PC, last guy PC, yeah?
That's fine.
I'm going to Dover, yeah? I mean...
Let's get this control. We just need to get ring control.
Get
the ball in ring
control. Yeah, I'm coming.
Let's go.
One on ball. I'm going middle. I'm going back to middle.
Yeah. Blue, one shot.
Mid as well, Dover. Mid as well. 2 middle. They're right through us, I think.
One's middle.
Wait, one's ring.
Two middle.
He could be here. Could be on your headshot.
Yeah, one close left eye. One close left eye.
Fantastic start by Prodigy eSports. 2-0 lead and make it a 3-0 as it drops in. Dens does get the kill in the end there, but we've already watched nearly 5 minutes of gameplay. Carl, I want to get into your mind here a little bit. How do you feel Prodigy are doing so far?
Alright, Prodigy are playing pretty solidly, but I really want to look at what Tainted's doing. And specifically, we just had a listen in. I want to just pick up a little things in their comms. They're not calling names. So the key point of calling names in this game is to basically keep track of who's alive, who you need to kill, who you need to chase, because you get an idea of what players on Prodigy are playing where, and you know when to kill them and where to expect them to be, basically. The good things I did see from their comms is there's lots of praise. They are 3-0 down, and there's no real negativity. They're all still coming, a little bit of sweary, but not that that really matters. It's very typical of COD.
It does get heated in
It
these
does.
games. I think as a CODcaster for a fair few years, it's safe to say there is a lot of passion with these guys in the game, but 30 seconds remaining. Gardra's in a good position to get maybe a 1-point play. Hopey, last one alive, but Zeus does drop him, and in the final few seconds, Tainted Minds, they got a fair few people up here. Control of sub, they should be able, if they win these gunfights, maybe get at least one on the board.
Yeah, as well, looking up at the KDs on the top right there, looks like the double D combo is not quite bringing the fire that we expected. Probably expecting this due to be sort of a closer range map, and these guys are really just sitting back, as we've seen a lot in the previous 2 maps. They
ended up getting a 1-point play in the end there, and Prodigy eSports are up 4-0. We still have another 5 minutes to play. I'm confident that they are in a position that they can win this, but we've already seen 2 maps where they've started off strong and fallen off. We're going to see both teams switching sides. Kyle, do you think Tainted Minds can make the comeback here?
I mean, I think it's possible. Like, this entire series has been typified by Tainted Minds' late game being superior to Prodigy. So we'll see if Prodigy has the courage to sort of slow things down a little bit and just sort of wait and play a little bit deeper, play a little bit more for kills, because that's what Tainted's going to do, even though they have to be aggressive.
Right now, Tainted Minds has control of the middle of the map. Zeus wins an important gunfight, taking out Squism, and they will get control of that uplink. Gydra slides in and drops Zeus. Both teams just trading out kills for middle control right now, and it does seem like Hopey, if he can win this one, should be able to get control. That is a massive kill for his team. Doesn't get the second, though, as the rest of his squad come in, trading it out. Squism trying to get those forward plays.
Good trades there from the team of Prodigy, and I think Tainted Minds managed to slow things down a little bit, even though they sort of sacrificed lives. They realized that they had enough manpower, and that Prodigy is most likely to push this robot's side of the map, so they could just sort of throw their lives in a little bit. But Squism gets a huge 2-piece. Hope he's going to push out his lead blocker, but he's got an ERAD at AR range.
That's not what you want.
No, not at all.
That is definitely not what you want in that situation. It seemed like Prodigy could have actually ended up getting a second, another point to their board. FTL jump for Killer Pie. He has got that Scarab just scouting it out and does take out Nibbles. The last one alive for his team, and they drop Tainted Minds. If they can get a 2-point play here, they're right back into it.
Killer Pie was sitting on a headshot spot right then and there. He could just have to turn around and fight. He knew exactly where they'd be coming from. Like, why contest middle when you have good ground already?
Well, let's see what is going through the minds of Prodigy. They're up 4-0. They've just got a 3 down. Can they close it out? Let's hear their communication.
Go around, fly out. On the base, I think. Back base, back left. One on the base. Nice. Good shit. Nice. There's 2. They're all spawning there. Just nice. Base. Nice. No, base. He's gone me. It's gone crates now.
Hey, kill my hatch.
Yeah, I've got hatch. Scarabing it. Stay there, Jack. Okay, oh, he left. I'm going forward.
PC.
Yo, I think they smashed
one PC.
There's one on ball as well. One's on
Hey,
ball.
one's flanky.
One on hatch.
He's PC.
He's back to my hatch. He's gone hatch. He's on me hatch.
What are you doing, Dan?
One on ball. One's on the heady on far left. Let's go. One more. Online. Missing Ing, aren't we?
Hey, damage med. Damage med. He's wing.
Just play that kill.
Hey, 2 dead.
I'm just gonna bring it. I'm pitching.
Wait, one's on the heady.
On a me.
Easy dead.
Two crates. Come left. Let me play that one pointer.
I'm coming to mid.
Oh, you FTL'd me.
Hey, one crate.
Push up mid. Hold on.
Got one on the right. Got one on the left.
Wait, there. Oh, last guy underpass. One shot.
One more. Hey, it's cliff side.
Just slay. Fuck
where
the ball.
Where did he go?
I took to the base. Fuck this.
Wait, so I use our specialist for points.
Yeah, I'm one off camera. One cliffside. He's gonna push it. Follow. No, push it right base.
Hey, blue. He's Zimbo. He's hitting blue.
Go blue. I picked up camera. One's from middle. They're wrapping back middle. They're gonna wrap. Oh, he pushed sides. I flank. I'm owing. I'll put tired first. Cell base. Use your specialist and shit, like, to score. One's coming from their crates.
Oh, yeah.
we stop that? Can we stop that?
Yeah, got it.
Yo, he threw it. Nice. I'm coming BC behind him. Yo, that's two. Dozer, like on ball spawn. Go nice. Damage was Dozer in mid.
He might be. He's on ball.
Oh, just push their base. Hey,
Two crate.
Come right. I'm in here, glitching tight. Go middle.
I should have. I hit
One more right. Last guy. I'm behind you. I'm behind you with camo. Yeah, I'm just going for the line. That's fine.
Oh, he's playing the kill dance.
Oh, he's on me. Oh, I fucking didn't get it. Alright, bro.
Hey, two crate. They're gonna go spaceship.
Gydra takes out Zeus, and it is still a lead for Prodigy after 4 minutes of intense gameplay. They haven't been able to get that 2-point play, but a lot of singles coming through, still holding on to that lead. But we saw Tainted Minds get that actual dunk in. Right now, active camo used by Nimble, and that's what happens. 2 dunks, and it's only a 1-point game.
This is huge right here. I want to look a little bit on their comms of that team there. It looks like Schism is really he's not really calling out. He's spending more time talking crap than calling out. But luckily he has his teammates with filling up the comms there with plenty of sound. We do have a camo for Gydra, so this should be pretty huge here. This is going to be probably the very last push for Tainted Minds right now.
Right now, Prodigy eSports are in their base. Damage throws it out to win the gunfight, doesn't do so. 16 seconds remaining. Active camo and the drone. You got to imagine that should be it. He's just got to go over the top of the player, dips around, ducks it, throws it, and
serious?
Prodigy eSports are going to get their first map of this series. It's not going to be a 3-0. They are able to finally get that map. What a performance by Prodigy.
Prodigy have done what was going to be very, very unlikely, but they came back and took a map. That was a stellar uplink performance by them and by both teams. 6-4, your final score. Now, gentlemen, you took us through the action, and what action there was. There was a lot of talk coming out of Prodigy. And, you know, a lot of it was, you know, it was granted that they were performing really, really well, but a lot of it, I think it was just barking a bit more than before they really got the W, because they almost let it go at the end because Tainted Minds, they just started beaming.
This situation that they were in, it could have flipped very, very quickly. Tainted Minds had ample opportunity to level it up. Prodigy maybe got a little bit lucky towards the end there that the scores didn't get leveled. But we can't take credit away from that performance. They did fantastically in the end. No dunk plays out of them, though. I find that very interesting.
They gave him, you know, a lot of trash, and in the end, Prodigy ended up giving them their hands as well. Vilesider, obviously a big play by Prodigy because, you know, they were almost out of this best of 5. Now that they're still alive, they were, look, they were, for 3 quarters, if not longer, of the first hardpoint, the better team. They choked. We haven't seen a choke like that in the season so far, obviously, until now. They can bounce back from that. They've got the W. Hope EIC is smiling again. Lots of chatter on stage, and they defied Fired Up right now. Hardpoint up next. Can they take it?
I honestly think they can, especially after that performance, because we've seen this. They're a great team for probably the first 7 minutes of a game, and then after that, it just sort of really depends on which players are going to clutch up and come up big at the end.
Now, obviously, you know, you said in the first 7 minutes, so essentially, Curry, they can win in the first 7 minutes. They got it in the bag. They need to win by 7 minutes.
They got 7 minutes to work with. The final 3 are all Tainted Minds. So if Tainted Minds can like make a comeback in like those final 3, they'll probably walk away with the map by the looks of it.
I'm really excited to see how the rest of this series is going to go. We do have that hard point coming up next. We just had that Frost Arms League. Guys, if you are tuning in, this is the Call of Duty World League Sydney Open, one presented by PS4. Again, big thanks to Astro and ViewSonic for helping us bring this event together. And again, what an event it's been. While we're going through pool play on the main stage, we know open bracket and the losers bracket have concluded. Everyone's either in pools or the championship bracket right now. We have 20 of the best teams who will be going into the championship bracket no matter what. Again, very, very excited to see what's to come. But bringing us back to this series, what a performance. And I tell you what, I have not seen fire out of these guys like that for a very long time, and I'm just glad. I wanted to give Hopi a hug before, and
did you actually like? Did you sneak off and give him a hug? Was that the difference?
Yeah,
I wanted to. I think I was sending him very positive vibes. But you know, I'm glad they can come back, and most importantly, guys, we've got a series on our hands. What do you?
Yes. Yes, we have a series on our hands. I'm actually so glad about that. Another 3-0 would have been
Oh my God,
gut-wrenching
no,
to me. It gets better from this situation, though, because we're going into hardpoint breakout. We saw that yesterday, especially from Tainted Minds, where they dominated on it. It's both of their strongest maps. So can Prodigy ride off that uplink, or will Tainted Minds just end up winning it again?
Yeah, well, we're going to have to see. Ladies and gentlemen, we actually have to take a very, very short break, just a couple of minutes while our players get sorted for map number 4. I think they might pee a little. I might pee a little after that comeback, or almost comeback from Tainted Minds in that uplink. It's currently sitting 2-1 in favor of Tainted Minds versus Prodigy. Again, this is the CWL Sydney Open 1 presented by PS4. We're going to be back right after this.